It's premix making day. So, yeah, you saw the last video of me doing chores at the dairy barn. Everything's gone pretty well this week. Had a baby calf and whatnot. So I just took a few snippets of what all went on throughout the rest of the week. And here you go. Got a baby. Okay, we'll give it some ooey gooey colostrum. So what I picked up there was what they call extruded soybean meal. So this is full fat soy meal, and back there is the fat extruded out of the soy meal. So they press the oil out. This has all the oil in it. No, this is not for the dairy cows. You'll have to wait and see what this is for. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Today is premix making day. As you can see, I picked up a few commodities, ones that we normally don't pick up. That's because I'm gonna try and make my own chicken feed. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'll explain a little bit about it later. So this is gonna be more of a trial flock. I have time now in the winter. This is going to cost me more per ton than picking it up at the feed mill, but it's not about the cost right now. I know I can get that cost substantially lower. I'll kind of talk about that later. I've wanted to make feed ever since I got into chickens. We've always made our own premix on the dairy since I was a wee little lad, which wasn't that long ago. I'm not that old, but I'm going to make my chicken feed using the dairy TMR mixer. What we got here is extruded soybean meal. So this is full fat soy meal. Chickens need fat. They like that smell. It attracts them to the feed pan. And then we got soy meal back there and corn. The canola is for the dairy, and then this is corn for the dairy. So this is a really fine ground corn, and this is a rolled corn. It's not as fine. It helps with the flowability in the feed bins. If you would try mixing that corn with these fine products, you would have bridging going on in the bin. I'm pretty sure a chicken could process a whole kernel, whereas a dairy cow can. It would go right through them. So that's why it's okay to feed a little coarser corn. So with that, I have to make a dairy premix first. Gonna do that. What's all in that is our dairy premix that we buy from the feed mill, and then dry corn, soy meal, canola meal, and it's just 4 ingredients. We make it once a week. We've done that for years. We do it at the other dairy as well. And then these are my premix bags for the chickens. This is just a temporary thing. Yes, this costs more to put it in bags, but the feed mill that I'm working with said, hey, let's just keep it simple and put everything in a bag just for you to try. You can break the stuff down that's in these bags, your salts, your limestone, your bicarb, I'll list all that stuff off when it's a little warmer in an office. But we got withdrawal, we got starter, and we got grower. 3 different premixes. Obviously, grower is the highest tonnage in the chicken ration, but we're still in the starter range. So, gonna fire everything up, let everything warm up. Be quiet. And we'll make the dairy ration, clean out the mixer, and then make the chicken ration. And I'll show you that whole process. It's a bit of dinking around, but that's perfectly fine. I have more than enough enthusiasm and excitement to be dinking around a little bit. We're gonna start off by making the dairy premix. This is the bay that it usually goes in. We save a lot of money buying commodities in ourselves. This is a very makeshift commodity shed at the moment. This is actually gonna be a heifer barn here, but we just thought, well, for a year or so we can make this work. This isn't the most ideal commodity shed in the world, just the way it's set up, but it obviously works fine for us for what we're doing for now. So overall, a very consistent blend. This is the dairy ration. I know this is a bit of a gong show, but push it up into here and we'll sweep out the mixer now. Well, at least you know the magnet works. Holy. Sorry. So that's our premix bags dumped in the bucket. Brings me back to corn planting days. So turn the PTO on. There's no dead spots. So we'll let this mix for 10 minutes now. We'll go get the telehandler. That's how we're gonna load the feed truck. So this is the final product. I don't get it. It's so simple. Looks very mixed through. The odd frozen chunk. Okay, now we'll put this in that, aka the truck. Well, I made my first load of chicken feed. Hopefully you guys like it. Chef Tom in the house. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I have an interest or why I'm even trying to make my own chicken feed. So I grew up on a dairy farm, and all dairy farmers make their own feed to some extent. A lot of dairy farmers now are breaking down their protein blend. We've been doing it for 25 years, but you essentially buy in your separate commodities, your proteins, your soy meal, canola, corn distillers, cottonseed, you name it, a farmer has probably blended it, and then you can break down a premix down to your salts, your limestone, your bicarb, vitamin, and you can do the exact same thing with the chickens. So in 2019, we got into chickens, and ever since then, I was looking at ways of making my own feed. I was kind of shocked that more chicken farmers didn't, since all the feed that a chicken consumes is purchased feed. With the dairy, majority of the feed that a dairy cow eats is self-grown, aka forages and whatnot. So your typical feed mill is something that has a bunch of bins, bunch of legs, bunch of augers, drags, automation, mixing, roller mill, hammer mill, you name it, a feed mill's probably got it. And that's all fine and dandy for the first five years, and then after that, it depreciates a lot, requires a lot of maintenance, and I see a lot of headaches. And it's also very expensive. It's not cheap. I've priced it out twice. I get why they're so expensive. There's a lot of steel and a lot of time that goes into building one of these setups. So I thought, hey, why can't I make chicken feed with a dairy TMR mixer? If this all works out, My theory in my head is you build a commodity shed, you're not limited to space like you are with bin storage, and you put a big grain bin beside the commodity shed that rolls corn or hammer mills corn into a bay, and then you have all your ingredients in bays, and you use some sort of mixer, either a tumble mixer or a screw mixer on a tractor or on a truck, and then you mount a truck auger like I do on my feed trailer onto it to load the bin. So then you're eliminating a lot of things a feed mill needs: overhead structure. You still need a truck and a feed trailer to get it to the bin. And my theory was, well, go straight from the mixer to the feed bin by putting an auger on the mixer like I do on my transport truck. I got ADHD and my brain's going 100 miles an hour always, and I always look at ways to do stuff differently and to save costs. And so yeah, I figure I can save around $20 a ton just in transport savings, because if all my corn stays on the farm and I don't have to use my truck and feed trailer, I figure, well, there's $20 right off the bat. And then booking your commodities and buying full load commodities, well, I figure you can save at least another $20. Could be way more, but I figure around that $35 to $40 is a safe bet, cost per ton savings for what I'm trying to do. I'm fortunate to be able to try this because we have all the equipment. And hey, maybe it's not going to work and I'm crazy, but I don't know. I'm lucky enough to try it, and I guess I'll let you know how it goes. Got another baby. Alrighty, 2 to feed.